course I'm here, Sully. It's Saturday morning.
We got Rarings dropping the ball over here. He's all discombobulated.
It's championship day, and you can't. You have to bring your A game. You got to have your A game on championship day. What's up with that?
I gave some bad information. I wrote the wrong number down on my note sheet here. I'll take the blame for that one.
All right, get it together.
Cole's running around like, what's going on here? What are we doing? That was a false start penalty on me.
All right. No problem.
So let's talk about some of these other games. We talked a little bit in the show earlier about Cedar Creek and also Holy Spirit. Let's get into Group 1 a little bit. Salem versus Paulsboro. I know these Paulsboro guys are probably sick of hearing about Jonathan Taylor at this point. But, what do they need to do to stop this kid? He's obviously one of the best backs in the state. He's going off to Wisconsin next year. Just a tremendous athlete. How are they going to stop this kid?
Well, that's the question.
Put 10 in the box and take your chances?
Right, that very well could be it. You may put all 11 in the box because Salem doesn't throw the ball very often. So, but obviously you got to keep an eye out on a couple of the wideouts. But other than that, you got to stack the box because he's going to run the football, and you've got to try to keep him, I guess, between the tackles. And it's a difficult task because no one has been able to do it. He's got, I believe it's either 6 or 7 straight 200-plus yard games.
Jeez.
And there's a couple 300-yard games in that mix. So,
yeah, didn't he have a playoff game with like 370 or something like that?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So, no one has been able to stop Jonathan Taylor. So, Glenn Howard has been around long enough at Paulsboro. He's seen his fair share of players of this type of caliber. So he's going to have a game plan, and it's just a matter of executing that game plan. And, if you look at it on the other side, maybe Jonathan Taylor is just that good, and he's not going to be stopped. I don't know. I'd be very, very surprised if I'll put it this way. I'll be very surprised if he runs for 200-plus against Paulsboro. If he runs for 200-plus for Paulsboro, then they should be winning this game handily. But, he doesn't have to run for 200 yards for them to win because people are completely forgetting their other back, Zaire Jones. Zaire Jones is a very, very good running back that, in all of this talk about Jonathan Taylor, if I'm Zaire Jones, I don't know how to take this. Maybe I take it as, okay, well, they don't really want to talk about me, so all right, that's fine, but I'm going to go out and take care of my business. Or do I look at it like they should be talking about me, and I'm going to go show them how I take care of business? So, you have one, you have the other, and if you look on the flip side with Paulsboro has a decent running back, Deron Holloway. He's a junior who's also had a very good season. He's upwards, I believe, of a little over 1,100, close to 1,200 yards. Really a very, very good running back for them, too. Not of the same mold as Jonathan Taylor, but he obviously gives Paulsboro, a running presence. But, obviously all the talk has been on John Taylor, and rightfully so. So, people are going to come out and they're going to watch. They're going to want to see Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor rips off a 65-yard touchdown run on his third carry of the game. It could be a long day for Paulsboro.
Yeah, I wonder if Paulsboro maybe comes out a little unconventionally and just does a bunch of run blitzing in the first quarter and try to get maybe a quick turnover or something like that.
They got to try to keep the game close. They can't let Salem get out and let John, really kind of get into a rhythm. I mean, they're going to have to slow him down somehow. They're going to have to keep him from getting stronger as the game goes along. But like we said, no one's been able to do it. So, obviously Paulsboro's the last team standing. They'll get their opportunity. I know that those kids are tired of hearing about Jonathan Taylor. I'm just hoping that they didn't talk a little bit too much to the point where Jonathan Taylor may now be a little ticked off.
Right. Talking with Kevin Minnick of the Courier-Post. Kevin, real interesting South Jersey Group 4 matchup, and that's going to be Sunday 2:30 at Rowan, Lenape versus Timber Creek. And such an interesting season for Timber Creek, sort of an odyssey they've been on, all that controversy that happened in the preseason, and that's kind of carried through the entire season. They've used that as motivation. How do you see this game playing out, and I don't know. I don't know if Lenape, obviously they're a great team to be in this position, but I don't know if they could stop that Timber Creek offense if they get rolling. And that motivation for Timber Creek to just go out and prove that they're the best team in South Jersey, I think that's a lot of motivation for those guys.
Yeah, this kind of a cloud has been hanging over that program all season long, and as I said before, and I'll say it again, is that team at the beginning of the year, if it stayed together and nothing had happened involving any of the issues that are currently being investigated, if that team stayed together, they're clearly the best team in South Jersey. No disrespect to St. Augustine, because I think St. Augustine is right there with them, but I think Timber Creek has every ingredient at every position. And, they've gone out and they've demonstrated this. They haven't been touched. Aside from Cherokee, in I believe it was week 2 of the season, they have not even come close to being touched all year. They're throwing up 35 and 40 and 45 points and a half, and it could be a lot worse. The thing with the Timber Creek is obviously, they are a throwing team. I guess it's probably about a 75-25 mix. They have shown that they can run the ball. They're averaging about 160 yards a game. But obviously with Devin Leary at quarterback and the receivers that they have, their MO is to throw the football. Now, if the wind kicks up tomorrow and it's a nasty blustery day, that's going to play into things a little bit. And it's clearly going to be something that Lenape coach Timmy McInerney may be going to church for today, and later tomorrow morning, praying for a little bit of, give me some bad weather, give me some wind. But Timber Creek is clearly, they're rock solid, and Devin Leary drives that train, and they've shown all season that they are the best football team around. Lenape is going to have to play its best game of the season. It can't make mistakes. It's going to have to try to, when they have the football, they're going to have to try to drag out long, sustained drives and keep the clock running and give Timber Creek as little time on the field offensively as possible. Now, the Creek likes to throw the ball. They're very quick. They can put points on the board. Bang, 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 bang. But the longer you keep them off the field, the weather gets a little cooler out. Maybe they start to tighten up and not as loose. All these little factors, all these little things are going to factor into this. And Lenape needs all of these little factors. Lenape is a terrific football team, best football team they've had in school history. But they still need these little factors to help them gain any kind of advantage, because Timber Creek is that good. So, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We got to get through today first, but obviously I think that game tomorrow will be the perfect way to cap off the championship weekend.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm going to put you in the analyst chair a little bit here for a second. If you're trying to defend Timber Creek and Devin Leary, what do you think is the best? I mean, you've seen this team play a bunch of times over the last 2 years. Do you think putting pressure on them is the way to go, or sitting back with 5-6 in the defensive zone? I mean, how do you contain this kind of offense?
Shawnee did a decent job of putting some pressure on Leary in their semifinal game, and at times he had to get rid of the ball a little quicker than he wanted to. So I think Timmy McInerney's made it no secret. He has to mix up his looks. He has to give him one look, give him a different look, maybe come back to the same look, put some pressure on, sit back. So I think he's probably right. That's probably the key, is that you're going to have to give them different looks so they kind of don't know what's coming. But if you throw the house at him and he has to throw a quick 5-yard out pass, those receivers are quick enough to make one move and be going down the sideline, or they're quick enough to make one cut across the middle, catch the ball, and keep going. So it's almost like you're picking your poison here, and it's not an easy thing to do because of the depth Timber Creek has at the wide receiver position. He's going to line up 5 guys, and to line up 5 guys, if you're going to bring the house, somebody's going to be open. So you got to decide what you want to do. And I think what they'll do is maybe they'll throw a couple different things at him, see what maybe works more than others, and then take it from there. But man-to-man coverage for them, I give the advantage to Timber Creek, although Lenape's defense has 20 interceptions. those kids are that good. So we'll see what happens. I guess he's going to throw some different looks at them and see what works and what doesn't work. And then, at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You have to tip your hat to them if they win this game going away, because they are that good.
Talking with Kevin Minnick of the Courier-Post. Kevin, let's talk a little bit about South Jersey Group 3. You got Wall Township coming down to take on Delsea, a 4-time defending champ who had a little bit of a rocky road to get here, but they're here again for the 5th straight time. And this is a team that knows championship football. Sal Marquez does a great job with that program, and they expect to be in championship games every year. I think they're playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They've had 3 or 4 losses this year, and I think they want to get out there and prove, hey, we're still the same Delsea squad.
Yeah, people say, who you like in this game, and as good as Wall may be, and as solid of a season that Wall has had, in my opinion, you can't really go against Delsea until somebody does knock them off. These kids, they know what it takes to get there. They come up through the program. They begin as freshmen. They learn that they understand the tradition. They know what it takes to get to these kind of games. And Delsea has not been perfect throughout this run and in their championship run as a program. They've had years where they've started very slowly. They've had years where they've started great. They've had years where they've had lulls in the middle. So it's kind of, if you look at the process, so to speak, it's very inconsistent in how they've reached championship games year after year. But the bottom line is they get to the cutoff date, they get themselves into the playoffs, and then they win. You cannot argue with the success Sal Marquez has had. And, there's no secret with Delsea, like there is no secret with, say, West Deptford in Group 2. They are going to run the football. Delsea has less than 150 yards passing, I believe, all season. Wow. There are kids that have caught more than 150 yards in passes in a game. So they're not going to throw the ball. If they throw the ball twice, I'll be stunned. If they throw the ball twice. I think, they run that wing tee. They get kids that are solid in the positions that need to be there for that, to run that wing tee. They spread the ball out a little bit, and it's a machine. If you look year in and year out at the teams who rush the ball for the most yards, it's these wing tee teams. It's West Deptford. It's St. Joe. It's Delsea. So, even though Delsea has some losses along the way, and these losses were to some pretty good teams. Timber Creek's playing today. Holy Spirit's playing today. That's 2 of their losses. I can't remember the others.
Cedar Creek. They lost by 7 to Cedar Creek.
Cedar Creek's playing. They playing this weekend too, Sully?
Yeah. Got a game tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is Delsea didn't lose to no 4-16 that didn't make the playoffs. Delsea lost their games to teams playing for championships. So it's not as if these losses are kind of bad losses, although you don't want to lose, obviously. And I know Sal Marquez was not happy with some of the losses. But look at the losses and look at the teams they played and look at what they could have done and maybe flipped it around a little bit. They're a very good football team. And guess what? They're playing for a championship again today. So, no arguing with Sal. Sal does a great job. His assistants are some of the best assistants around as well. And obviously, you don't throw an extra cup of water into the recipe if it only calls for 1. You don't throw in 2. So Sal has got the recipe for success at Delsea, and now and it's going to take a good team to beat them. If Wall beats them, hats off to Wall, and Sal will be. I'm sure he would give all credit to the other team for what they did. But like I said, before, until somebody beats Delsea, I'm not going to go against them.
Good stuff as always, Kevin. We got to let you go and save a couple minutes for your boy Tribble.
Yeah, give Tribble some time. He's excited. It's championship day. He's going to be checking out some games, and I know he's all excited about it. So
good stuff, man. Appreciate it as always. We'll catch up with you next week.
Obviously, I guess next week maybe we'll talk about this, and then I guess we're going to have to start talking hoops.
Yeah, man. I'm sure the hoops folks are like, hey, season started. Let's go. But hey, it's championship football weekend, so they're gonna have to wait another week.
They can wait. Their time will come.
Yep. All right, Kev. Appreciate it, man. Have a good weekend.
Hey, you too. Have a good day. Enjoy that game up there with Holy Spirit.
Yeah, it should be a good one, man. I'm excited for it.
All right, take it easy.
Yep. That was Kevin Minnick of the Courier-Post.